Hey guys, Mitch from Shock Therapy, and today we're going to be showing you how to install the rear limit strap kit on the Polaris RS1. A couple of things that this limit strap is going to do for you guys is going to help stop the extension clunk, prolong the CV, axle, and extend the shock absorber life itself. These limit straps are the best on the market for multiple reasons. Number one, they do mount to different makes and models of UTVs. They also mount directly to the shock body, which reduces stress on the limit strap itself, opposed to mounting a strap on the chassis side, which actually creates leverage. Our limit strap kit also offers a patented tether system, which helps keep the strap tight against the coil spring and not wanting to fall out into the tire. This install is fairly simple and should take you no longer than an hour or two. So let's jump on in. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. Your first step in the installation is to jack up the rear of the vehicle until the tires are off of the ground. Start by removing the rear fender, which is held on by 2 rubber clips and 1 plastic locking latch. With the rear fender removed, you can now loosen the factory hose clamps and remove the reservoir from the cage. This can be done by using a flathead screwdriver or a socket. Next, remove the factory upper hardware using an 18mm wrench and 18mm socket. Remove the lower hardware, again using a 18mm wrench and 18mm socket. With the factory hardware removed, you can now place the shock into a vise right side up to begin installing the billet clamp. Install the 2-piece billet clamp, making sure that the split of the clamp is in line with the hose and the clamp itself is going to face outside of the vehicle. Torque all of the billet clamp hardware to 20 foot-pounds. Next, remove the clevis bolt from the clevis. Using red Loctite, you can now install the limit strap into the clevis, making sure to tighten it down. Remove one of the locking washers and one of the jam nuts and install the clevis through the billet clamp. Reinstall the locking washer and jam nut and prepare to place the shock onto a bench. With the shock on the bench, you can now set the limit strap length. This measurement should be set at 1.5 inches from center of hole to center of hole. With the measurement set, you can now lock down both the jam nuts on the clevis using 2 19mm wrenches. With the limit strap installed, you can now reinstall the shock back onto the UTV. Starting with the upper hardware, insert the bolt, followed by the nut on the backside. Using the supplied hardware, insert the bolt, making sure that the head is facing the motor and the threads are facing the tire. Install the spacer and nut, making sure to leave it loose at this time. Reinstall the reservoir back onto the cage using the factory hose clamps. Make sure to tighten this down using a flathead screwdriver or a socket. Repeat these steps on the opposite side. With both limit straps installed, you can now lower the vehicle back to the ground. Remove the factory nut and install the limit strap onto the bolt. Reinstall the factory nut. Repeat this step on the opposite side. Jack the rear of the vehicle back up off the ground until both rear limit straps are tight. Starting with the upper hardware, you can now tighten it down using an 18mm wrench and 18mm socket. Next, tighten the lower hardware using a 19mm socket and 18mm wrench. Repeat this step on the opposite side. With all your hardware tightened, you can now lower the vehicle back to the ground. Reinstall both rear factory fenders. Attach the limit strap tether to the coil spring. And repeat this step on the opposite side. And your installation is complete. We hope that this video helped you guys with the installation of your rear limit straps at home. And remember that the strap can stretch up to an inch after the first few hundred miles. Make sure to put some time on your UTV and double check your lengths, making sure that the strap is holding the shock about 1/4 of an inch of full extension without the strap. Another thing to keep in mind, if you guys are driving your car another 100 to 300 miles and you start to hear the extension clunk come back, take the adjustable clevis, raise it up 1/4 of an inch, and the extension clunk will disappear. Keep in mind that these limit straps are a wearing item and they will need to be replaced over time depending on your driving conditions. If you like this video, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to be notified anytime that we post a new video. If you need any extra components or separate parts of this kit, feel free to visit the website at shocktherapyusa.com. Any technical help or assistance, feel free to give us a call at 623-217-4959. A couple of things that this limit strap kit's gonna do for you guys is gonna help stop. Wow. Thanks. I almost fell over. Pause. On the other side, John. There's a happy cheese.
It's probably because you threw your Fritos on the ground.
Oh.